Another beautiful day in Colorado, isn't it? The photograph that you see on the screen is of Grand Teton National Park. Grand Teton National Park is the southern end of Yellowstone Park, which is the largest ecosystem in the world. Ecosystem, to me and most people, means that it's a system that sustains itself. So in 1914, the Bureau of Land Management decided they were going to slaughter all the wolves because the farmers were so scared that their cattle were all going to be decimated. So they went out and they slaughtered a bunch of wolves. In 1995, they realized they'd made a mistake, and they brought the wolves back in. The whole ecosystem started to grow again, and it was an amazing thing. So today, I ask you to think about who is the wolf in your industry. Who's going out to clean up disease? Who's going out to clean up the poor processes? You see, the wolf has an uncanny ability when it's in the national park system. It can actually smell disease in herds of animals. So it is the only animal that can take down a 1,400-pound elk. It can take down a bison. It is super strength. And when the wolves were decimated, that only left the coyotes, and they didn't have that strength. So what I'd like to do is introduce our software, TrackOne, because I believe that it can be your wolf. So when you build software like this and you try to understand what your customers are really saying, and you want to get it from their standpoint and their viewpoint, it takes a lot of data. One of the things that we do is we collect switch data, which you already have. We collect your recording data, which you already have. We use your QA data. Every piece of data that you have within your infrastructure, we use. We also use speech analytics. So on every single phone call, we analyze what's happening. We know if there's a truck roll. We know if there's no provisioning that was not done properly. We know all kinds of things. So we build a foundation up from an agent level, and we start building and building. We know the types of calls that agents are weak on. I can see the days that they get a 0% first call resolution. I can see whether or not they're asking the right questions as they go through the phone call. I can see so many different things about what they're doing, and I can take this up one more level, just to the agent level, and see how do they do on certain types of calls. Some people might be better at billing calls, some people might be better at video calls, repair, etc. This is a really eye-opening piece of software. It shows you a lot of differences and powerful things. I can look at productivity for an individual. I can look at the entire location, which this particular location is about 250 seats. I can look at the productivity for the whole place. I want to understand what are the pain points that are making my customers call and be irate. So that's what I want to do, is I want to eliminate things. The first thing that I can dig into is a behavioral thing. Who's transferring calls? Customers cannot stand to be transferred. Who's putting people on hold? Can I go coach these people? Yes, I can go do that. I can bring up all kinds of different data, and we're pulling maybe over a week's worth of data here, but we want to look at the pain points that are happening within the center. Why are these people calling? If you look at the biggest portion there, it's modem provisioning. People are calling in to activate an account because it was not activated properly when they entered the order. We're spending 22.5 FTEs on that. If I look at email, password resets, 10.5, 11 FTEs are being used to do password resets all day long. Can you imagine changing password resets so that they could do it on a web page, like most of the other companies that are out there. If we bring everything up, we've got 3 different areas that really make a customer go nuts. We've got employee behaviors, we've got repeat call driver behaviors, and we've got avoidable call driver behaviors. Why should anybody have to call to program a remote? Why should anybody have to call to activate service if they already did it somewhere? And if you also notice, I've got some dollar amounts on there. If you look at the amount of time that we've put into this, each level of type of call, I can now start to create a budget of what's available to save. So in this case, avoidable call drivers, if we cleaned up our act on all of these things, this is worth $352,000 a month. This is one site, 250 people. I can dig into processes. There's another 105,000 there. Failed self-installs, call us back. Believe it or not, when you tell people to call us back, we're open 24 hours a day, they do. We've tracked that information. Remote programming. Why are we programming remotes to the tune of maybe 10% of our workforce every day, and this isn't even a product that we own? But it's a customer pain point, and it's something we need to fix. And TrackOne shows you exactly where to go and how to do it. So let's take a look at one particular call. We can drill down and drill down. I can see who has the highest first call resolution. I can see who has the highest handle time. I can understand exactly where I need to go to pinpoint improving the entire process. If I want to listen to those calls, I point, click, bring them up. And I can play all those calls that are available within your recording systems, but we've moved some of the links into our system. A couple more things here. So when you actually create speech tags, and we have a library of speech tags just for the cable industry, probably 15,000 to 20,000 things that we look for on every single call. So we have all of your recordings. We're not listening to a 1% sample. We are listening to 100%. Now I begin to graph how the opening is going. Are the privacy laws being met? Are we asking enough questions? What kind of solution are we offering? Are we selling anything early on in the call, or is it towards the end of the call? That crossover between discovery and solution is your repeat call rate. You've got a number of agents who are giving a solution before they even know what's wrong. This product is also for marketing. Imagine this graph. This was a case with a major cable company. We picked up a competitive name, DirecTV. Could you see the pattern that happened here? All of a sudden, it goes from 50 calls a day and mentions of DirecTV up to 1,900, 2,000, whatever that number might be. This is during March Madness in 2014. Wouldn't it be cool to be able to see that information and do something about it? I think we're about there. So, TrackOne can be the wolf of your industry. I want you to imagine helping us create more specific tags so that we can figure out truck rolls, we can figure out the little dynamics of things that are causing all of our customers to be unhappy. I appreciate all your time today, and I thank you for having me here. Thank you.